9th through Thursday, December the 2nd. What a week it has been. Let me start with Monday morning. After getting some physical therapy for my shoulder, I was happy to welcome to our staff a new employee, Erin, who is going to be handling our political outreach. She has great experience in politics, including the recent Glenn Youngkin victory in Virginia. And I had a series of meetings with her in the morning and in the afternoon, orienting her towards what we do at Priests for Life for political activity, and giving her a bunch of things to read and study, and introducing her to other key members of our staff. So that was a big part of that. I did taping of several programs for Right Side Broadcasting Network and some of our other broadcasts. So I was in the TV studio. I had many meetings with staff on the phone and through Zoom and in person, and also had a conversation with our friend Nick Loeb, who produced the Roe v. Wade movie. Then I left about 4 in the afternoon for the airport. I did work in the car. I was with our communications director. We were heading to the Orlando airport in order to go to Washington, D.C. for the eventful week that we had there, a couple of days that we had there. Got on the plane at night, worked on the plane, arrived at D.C., had to drive about 40 minutes to the hotel, worked in the car as well, and got there and got to sleep, because the next day, listen to what we did on Tuesday, the 30th of November. I got up real early, did some various email work first, and prepared some messages for the press. And then I had a breakfast meeting with some of our associates who joined me in Washington. And that was at about 7 in the morning. And then we went to the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., where we had a Priests for Life press conference. In that press conference, we were joined by Melissa Ohden, abortion survivor, and attorney Alan Parker. And the press conference went on for a long time. And then there was a special event there at the press club at which former Vice President Mike Pence spoke. I saw him as he came in, greeted him, had a brief conversation with him, and then he went in and gave a major speech about abortion. I heard the first part of that speech, but then I had to go on to my next engagement, and that was to go over to, this was now in the late morning, somewhere around 11:45, 12 noon, went over to Planned Parenthood in Washington, D.C. And there I joined up with other pro-life leaders. We were protesting and praying in front of Planned Parenthood. We did a little broadcast from there. Right from Planned Parenthood, those that were with me and I went to get a quick McDonald's lunch. And then we drove over to the Lincoln Memorial. And so at the Lincoln Memorial, we had another event, and together with pro-life leaders, we unrolled scrolls bearing the names of 500,000 citizens asking the court to reverse Roe v. Wade. I gave a brief speech there at the Lincoln Memorial. From there, went over to a Face the Truth tour in another section of Washington where people were standing with signs of aborted babies. That was at around 2:45. From there, went to the Supreme Court for a 3 p.m. press conference in front of the Supreme Court, at which I spoke again. From there, went for a 4:15 appointment with Stephen Bannon, and I spoke with him for a while, and then was on his program, The War Room. I know many of you saw me on that program. Right after I was finished with Steve Bannon, right at 5:30, I went to the Capitol Hill Club, where there was a pro-life dinner organized by Andrea Lafferty, and Women for a Great America was there and greeted the people there as well. Right from there, went back to the Supreme Court and helped to lead prayer at a pro-life candlelight vigil in front of the court, praying for success in the Supreme Court abortion case. And when that prayer vigil was over, that was from 7 to 8, I went to yet another pro-life dinner. Pro-life leaders gathered with the Texas Values group, and they've gathered at a Washington, D.C. restaurant in a private room, and I prayed with that group and chatted with them for a while. By the time that was finished, it was time for bed, and so I went back to the hotel and went right to sleep. Then, the next morning, December 1st, Wednesday, the oral arguments at the Supreme Court in this Dobbs case. Before sunrise, I was outside in front of the court with my team, started doing interviews right away with multiple media outlets on camera, on the phone, on the radio, on internet, and so forth. Was with my team. We helped to organize the activities outside of the court. There was a rally. We listened carefully to the oral arguments because the Supreme Court makes them available in real time. So I was listening to those arguments from beginning to end. Again, a lot of interviews, and then spoke on the plaza of the Supreme Court. We were rallying. The pro-abortion groups were having their rally, but I shared a lot of thoughts after the oral arguments as to how I thought they went, and we did have other pro-life leaders with me who spoke. Tom Glessner, for example, from NIFLA, and Eric Schuyler from the Pro-Life Action League, and others. So those events went until mid-afternoon, got a quick lunch, and then went over to the hotel, read back through the oral arguments, and did 2 media interviews, one with Seb Gorka, the other one with Chris Salcedo on Newsmax. That brought me up to 5:30, and then I went to a gala event in the evening, sponsored by Alliance Defending Freedom, and featuring the Attorney General of Mississippi, the one primarily responsible for defending their law, and also the rest of her team, including the Solicitor General of Mississippi, who argued the case in front of the Supreme Court. Got to hear from them and discussed the matter with a lot of people who were there, members of Congress, governors, and just pro-life leaders from all different parts of the movement. So that evening dinner was a great, great event. The next day, Thursday, December 2nd, up very early, did some email work, got on a plane that took off at 6:45 a.m., did some work on the plane as it flew to Orlando, landed in Orlando, got right on the phone with my staff even before I stepped off the plane. We were doing work for the day, did so all through the car ride back to my office. At my office, jumped right into the studio and did some taping to give some initial feedback and reaction to the Dobbs case. Met with staff, did all of that. And then we had our Christmas tree decorating party here at the office. That was a very nice event. We do that each year. We got the tree decorated. We did a blessing of the tree. And then from there, I went to for a doctor's appointment in the afternoon. It didn't take too much time. It went very well. We came back to the office and then met with a whole bunch of staff in those afternoon hours, just advancing our projects, especially our commentary about this Supreme Court case, of course, on which we've been working for a long time. Then I had a 5:30 appointment actually for a gun lesson on Merritt Island and at the shooting range. And then once I did that, I came back to the office and had a quick dinner. And then 7:30 p.m. we had an election Zoom call, a national call on which we had many patriots from across the country. And we talked about the midterm elections and things we could do right now and the connections between the Supreme Court case and the midterm elections. Really great election call to finish off the day on Thursday. But actually that didn't finish off the day, because then when I was with that call, I had a long conference call with one of our administrative team, and we were planning for the work of the coming days. This was a great week, and I know that you all feel the excitement too, that we have great hope that this Supreme Court case will turn out well. I'll be continuing working on that very heavily. But thank you for letting me update you on my day-to-day, hour-by-hour activities, because, as I've always said to people, I'm an open book. We're an open book here. We're accountable to you as well as to God, and of course to our unborn brothers and sisters whom we serve. Father Frank